is making any sense. Get me out of here!
So this is what is at stake.
I can't move my legs! Don't leave me!
True endings don't happen in a single playthrough. Without the knowledge or pre-existing knowledge of the story beforehand, one must learn the necessary plot points themselves. Nezumi, Professor Nezumi, is your condition stable? I prop myself up, snatching my pencil and notebook in a swift motion while turning to my most recent page, hastily scribbling a handful of notes before making eye contact with Fresnel. I came as fast as I could once I realized Mizukari wasn't responding. Zul was downstairs as her cloak vanished into thin air. The roof is collapsed behind you. Are you sure you're alright? I'm fine, sorry. Fresnel, was it? It's Fresnel, Mr. Nezumi. That's my name, yes. That was rude. Anyways, I took the liberty of trying to scan you. What's going on? Sorry, it's just a thing I like doing occasionally. Get me up and call Soul. We've got things to do and we're going to the radio station together ASAP. In the shock of talking alongside Fresnel slowly decays as we pace downstairs. During which, I write down our next line. For next time. But unlike last time, Soul waits at the base of the headquarters. The girl with a beaming attitude and long blonde ponytail paces over with a wide smile. Hey, sup, Prof? Noted. Sorry, Soul, we don't have time. We need to get to the radio tower as fast as possible. It's an emergency. Please lead the way. Sure thing. Time to put my guide skills to use. Soul immediately dashes off, and I follow as best I can. Our 3 pairs of footsteps can be barely heard over the buzz of the Oasis' demise. The sound of destruction drowns out everything. It's the blood that stains this paradise, causes distractions. I try to focus on anything except the sharp pain in my ankles and the slowly rising burning in my chest. The landscape as we approach our destination can barely hold my attention. The blonde ponytail of Soul bounces rhythmically as we run. Finally, a distraction. Fresnel overtakes me and turns back to silently offer to carry my notebook. I subconsciously oblige. Soul barely slows down as I watch the intersections pass by every half minute. No, I can't think of this distance. I turn away, spotting scorch marks that burn the walls of nearby buildings. Something burned them. It looks like black veins across a skinless body. Something almost impossible and concrete. I must know. Oh, I can't speak between breaths, and it didn't sound like I spoke. Lives are on the line if I'm too slow, so I fight to speak. Hey, who did this? Oh, that? Probably Storm. Pretty neat, huh? Soul laxly points to the side of the carnage on the way to the radio station. Finding scorched bodies as sanctifiers. Rotting into raw data. Operants, they call it. The scent of carnage lingers in the air, and I can feel the hairs on my arm rise as we pass some of the enemies that ate a taste of her power. Soul finally slows down as we approach the fire escape-like staircase, leading us up to the higher levels of the Oasis, where the radio tower and weather controller reside. Embedded in the wall is a motionless sanctifier, with purple arcs that dance across its skin like worms feasting on a carcass. Where's... Adrenaline leaves me and I nearly faint. I can hear my heartbeat in my ears and my stomach rise to my throat. Nezumi, are you alright? Just... tired as all. Give me a second to catch my breath. My feet find the floor. I try to ignore the embarrassment of needing to be caught by Fresnel, but I still need to move. My first time frame is soon. I don't have that stopwatch application. So, here's Riley's signature. Call her now and tell her to go to the radio station now. If Soul needs help for now, go with her. I need to get to the weather controller. Sorry I can't explain anything. I'm sort of dying. Both of them nod to respect the urgency as I drag myself to the weather controller. But halfway there, Soul calls back to me. Hey, Prof, bad news. The comms are down and I can't seem to be able to call Riley. I check my notes and my heart sinks. It's fine then. Follow me. We need to find her to get comms back online. Our top priority is to tell the dolls to make a breakaway to Enigma if they can. If they can't, hunker down and wait for rescue. Once that's done, we can group up everyone we can into the old city and use it as a bunker.
Whoa, you got this all planned out already? Sweet! Why didn't you tell us earlier?
I found her knocked out in the headquarters, but she said, unfortunate timing. Oh, sorry, didn't know, Prof. Just call me Nezumi. Long story, but I have reason to believe my signature has been spoofed to the professors for some reason. My apologies. You said we need to hurry, Nezumi? Right. My legs, silent lamenting, turned to a screeching soreness as I begin to move. I can only hope that I won't need to run. Luckily, the sickness is manageable for now. Cresting the top of the staircase, I can see Mai and Storm arguing at the weather simulator. Right on schedule according to Mai's account. Breathing a sigh of relief, I turn to Sol and Fresnel. So, Riley might not be here. Try and find her if that's the case. Fresnel, if you can, make a public broadcast to tell everyone to hunker down or flee to Enigma. How are you going to do that secretly since Sanctifiers can hear you too is beyond me at the moment? But I need to handle Mai and Storm. You got it, Nezumi. Roger that. Approaching Mai and Storm, I finish jotting down the most recent events in my notebook and interrupt them as best I can. Hey, we've got an emergency. I'm Nezumi and the stand-in for the professor in this crisis. Storm, can you explain what's going on here? I want to use the weather simulator to slow the advance of the Sanctifiers. But Mai is arguing that the operants are too precious to be used in the weather simulator when the sandbox barrier needs to be powered. Unfortunately, I have to agree with Mai. We're working to communications back online as soon as possible, so we can begin setting up operations to redeploy the sandbox barrier, and I need Mai for that. Fine. Instead, I have a task for you, Storm. Oxygen is currently located in the old city. I need you to find him and report to me once you do. Whatever you say, Nezumi. I'll have to deal with her later. For now, I jot down the details of Storm leaving and talk to Mai. Mai. Yes, Miss Nezumi? How good of a technician are you? That depends on what you need me to do, Miss Nezumi. The sandbox barrier is currently out of reach of anyone, and I'm wondering if it's possible to relocate it or perhaps downscale it. The sandbox barrier is made by Croak, so I don't really know all the details. Could you at least be able to tell me if it would be possible to shrink the sandbox barrier to a smaller size? Well, it's kind of big. How big are we talking? I think at best to relocating it, we would have to copy the system to make a mini sandbox barrier at the location. Is it not some sort of pylon or emitter? Well, yes, but without a schematic of the original, we can't replicate it. Is Croak not available for this? Croak is missing along with Persicaria. We don't have anyone to work on the sandbox barrier. I'm so sorry, Mr. Nezumi, but I don't think I'm up for that. Cresting the top of the staircase, Mai and Storm argue at the weather simulator. With a sigh through my nose, I turn to Sol and Fresnel. Sol, Riley might not be here. Try and find her if that's the case. For now, I need Storm to go and find oxygen in the old city. Then, after that, please look for Riley with Sol and send Mai over to me. I'll be at the communication post that Riley abandoned to see if I can figure out the problem. You got it, Nezumi. Roger that. We split up as I pace into the radio station, finding the control just as confusing as last time. All that stands out to me is the microphone and flashing red button used for the emergency broadcast I used in the last loop. But if this works just like last time... I pause and remember Mai's account from the first loop. Riley left 2 minutes before Storm. Cresting the top of the staircase, I let out a sigh and successfully contained the temptation to roll my eyes. I'm starting to dislike this rollback point. So, Riley might not be here. Try and find her if that's the case. For now, go with it. Ignore Mai and Storm for now. I'm gonna see if she's in the radio tower. And if not, I'll prepare a public broadcast of our plans for the dolls of the Oasis. You got it, Nezumi. Roger that. We split up as I pace into the radio station, and I try to call Riley, but there's only silence. Which seems strange, if there was a call, wouldn't there be a ringtone? Riley, are you there? I wait, though there's no answer. If you're there, Riley, I need an indication. Tap twice on whatever a microphone equivalent is for you, if you can hear me. I'll try to keep things in yes or no questions. 2 taps of no, 3 taps of yes. Got it? Are you in danger? Damn it, we're trying to be easy for once. What is threatening you? Why? Right. Yes or no questions only. Before things progress too far, pull out my notebook. Do the Sanctifiers catch you yet? Are you hiding from Sanctifiers? Can you move? Are you able to send messages beyond just taps? Is there a reason you're not doing it? Send me your coordinates then. A long series of numbers come through. You're still close. Are you able to get back the way you came to the radio station? Stay still. Fresnel's coming to get you. I try to send Fresnel the coordinates, but an error comes up. Right, communications are jammed. There's one more thing I can try. Pressing the top of the staircase, I quickly flip to the page with my next line. Alongside it, I jot down a footnote for Riley's information while reading my excuse to check on Riley in person. I'll look for Riley. You two tell Storm to look for oxygen in the old city, and Mai to stay put and look for a hard drive to potentially back up doll information. Then stand by in the radio station. You got it, Nezumi. Roger that. We split up just as before, but this time I pull up a map to find the coordinates Riley sent. Despite going back in time, my aching body prevents me from going anywhere near as fast as I like. I contact Riley as I get closer. Though being only a few minute run away from the radio station, I don't expect the scene that greets me. Riley is lying against the wall of one of the Oasis skyscrapers. She had operates from multiple wounds across her arms, legs, and most concerningly her neck. I rush as fast as I can muster and transfer as many operates as I can into her most grievous wounds and neck.
Thank you.
Great to hear your voice, Riley.
Likewise. I thought I was toast until I saw you.
As Riley praises me for my ability to come rescue her, I return a warm smile. I press for anything that can truly save her instead of delaying her fate that I entertain by being here. I need to know a few things, a few of which might seem random, but I'm sure on time. You ready to answer a few questions?
Of course.
Perfect. First, what's the range of short-range communications like one-on-one calling? Oh, maybe 2 kilometers at best? Why do you ask?
Of course.
Perfect. What exactly are you doing that you're caught in this situation? I was on my way to repair the radio tower to fix the communications problem we have. Without it, we lose coverage of practice. With small phases, I realize I can't reach her any sooner. Barely give myself time to process what I'm gonna do, knowing that I would soon run out of ways to remind myself of my end goal other than the notebook I grip tightly. Tearing the page out for the first time was hard. Throwing away the moments of respite I had to willingly relive the painful sensation of printing from the HQ to the weather simulator. The scene that greeted me was bodies of sanctifiers and the harsh smell of burnt steel that assaults my nostrils. All to send a message to Riley about the future. To tell her the safe route through the decimated oasis. Each time I hear her get compromised over the radio, I repeat the tail end of the run. Overwhelming exhaustion overrides whatever relief I felt before. I tore the page from my notebook. Every time I step back, whether she would get closer to the radio tower, I would feel it's up to chance. As the message I send in the loop continues to grow, I feel something inside me gnaw like something remains in the loop. But I can't place my finger on it. Pressing the top of the staircase, growing tired of the scenery that greets me for the 15th time, I let out an annoyed sigh. I barely look at Sol and Fresnel as I turn towards another potentially injured Riley, while starting my delivery of the following line that has itself etched in my brain. I'll look for Riley. You too. Nezumi, something's wrong. What? I didn't mean to offend you. Please ignore that. Just tired is all. What is it? When I found you, I took the liberty of scanning you and I noticed a cache of corrupt files. At first it wasn't very large, but it has spiked significantly since I last checked. Ignore it. I can get it looked at later. Nezumi, I'm sorry to tell you, but this looks severe. I'll keep it in mind. We don't have time for this right now. For now, I need you to make a pre-recorded announcement on this radio frequency to tell all dolls to group up on the Enigma side of the Oasis or hunker down and flee to the Old City if they think they're too far to make it. In exactly 5 minutes, we will start a distraction that will gather the Sanctifier's attention and buy them time. The Oasis depends on us. I understand. So, you find the central place and then send me and Fresnel the coordinates. Also, meet up with Soul once you're done for now. I need to talk to Mind Storm. Soul and Fresnel break away and I felt my body's exhaustion once more. The dolls and me would stay in each loop. The shift in Fresnel's concern as his corruption in me grows every time I turn back time. I can only hope it doesn't kill me before I can leave. Storm, Oxygen needs you in the Old City. Go quickly. I'll talk to Mine. I watch as Storm's expression goes from surprise to worry before she takes off in the direction of the Old City. Mine, I heard Storm was trying to use the weather simulator as a weapon against the Sanctifiers. I understand your concerns about the operants being better used in the sandbox barrier, and I need your help with an alternative idea. Sure, Professor. Whatever you need. First, I need a hard drive. Something big enough to back up a neurocloud.
I don't know if I have something like that on hand.
Surely the weather simulator is a memory storage unit or something, right?
Yes, but wouldn't that be too bulky for you?
As long as it's carriable in a backpack or something, then it should be fine. There is something like that in here, right?
Of course! I'll just get the tools to extract it like you asked.
And while you do that, I'll get the bag. I hastily make a quick trip into the weather simulator for the crowbar before making my way over to the radio station and raiding a locker for someone's backpack. When I return, Maya is standing sheepishly in the center of the room with a hard drive that has a PC tower beside her. However, between the hard drive and the console she seemed to have taken it from, a trail of screws and panels leads to a hole in the console. You got it from here? I gestured to the hole.
Yes!
Did you need to make this much of a mess?
No. Couldn't figure out how to take the hard drive outside, so keep removing non-essential stuff until I can easily drag it out.
It's fine. You did well. I reassure Mai as best I can while focusing on the hard drive rack, pulling at the topmost one to show to Mai. Are one of these enough for a doll's neurocloud?
I think so? Did you want to back up your neurocloud, Miss Nezumi?
Not mine, but that's not important. I crouched as I placed the hard drive back in its place and flipped to the most recent page of my notebook.
What are you writing, Miss Nezumi?
I record everything I come across in my notebook. Recording events like this helps me remember my experiences to tell an epic later would have been my lie. And details from my next loop would have been the truth I couldn't tell Mai. An explosion turned the building we're in to rubble, toppling the solar panel tower into the room we're in and sending me to the floor. Pain shoots through me, rendering me unresponsive as my world is plunged into heavy darkness that threatens to consume me forever. Delirious and dazed, I force my eyes open, using the weight of my body to find the floor to start the process of orienting myself. My hands find purchase among pebbles that stab into my skin as I push off the floor, flipping myself off my belly to sit up, sweeping my arms around me to collect my hat and notebook. Within seconds, my senses begin to feel like they work once more, the crackling of fire around and the thumping of my heart being the first to greet me. Adrenaline keeps me awake and at the edge of consciousness as the first object my eyes lock onto makes itself clearer. Mai lays motionless out of reach. The roof has wholly collapsed and the rubble entombs all but her forearms. Mai? I fight the urge to faint and scramble as best I can, nearly slamming my forehead on the level ceiling as I approach Mai's body on all fours. Without thinking, I pull away the chunks of concrete that obscure her head, fizzing holes in the gloves as I do so. Mai, can you hear me?
Nezumi, what happened?
Something struck the weather simulator and... My eyes start to Mai's blurred torso and I place my fingers on her cheek to keep her facing me before she could follow my gaze. Don't look.
Is it bad?
We're probably stuck here for some time. I try my best to skirt around the topic, Coincidentally, I hear the notification of an incoming call. It's Fresnel. Professor, thank heavens. What took you so long to respond? The plan was a bust. The weather simulator collapsed while Maya and I were in it. How are things at your end? You're just going to glaze over that? Just striking a short conversation. Don't come looking for us. How are you and Seoul? We arrived at the meeting point and found a deceased doll on arrival. Her name is Chanjin. From what we can tell, she's been dead for only a handful of minutes. That's... Never mind. At least you two are alright, I assume? Yes. Seoul and I are unharmed. What did you need? Survive. The Oasis is now too far beyond saving. Good luck. I end the call.
Miss Nezumi, are we going to die?
I look at Mai with my normal neutral expression I held while on the call with Fresnel. To put it simply, no. As I transitioned to a cross-legged sitting position, I had falls between us as a result of me dodging the ceiling. In fact, I want to talk to you in a way I rarely, if ever, talk to someone.
And how's that?
It's a short story. I hope you can hear me out. I take a deep breath. The Oasis is in ruins. You've watched it burn to ash like now, and you've been given a chance to go back in time to potentially save the Oasis. Do you take it?
Is that a question? I'll try and save everyone!
No. If every time you fail to save the Oasis you watch and know you failed, do you still go back?
Of course!
And lastly, if every time you went back in time you accumulated a corruption in your code each time, running the risk that one time you lose the Oasis you saved and trying to go back, at what point do you quit? Or if you succeed, at what point do you say enough is enough?
That's a hard question! Please, give me time, Nezumi!
Sorry for pressuring you, but I assume you understand my question.
If this is a hypothetical, it sounds only reasonable to try and strike a balance once you succeed. But if the Oasis wasn't saved once, then to me it doesn't sound like there's any point to not go back in time.
Of course. A hypothetical. I slouch and begin scribbling. So much has happened. As I flip through page after page, I catch glimpses of moments lifetimes ago. Seoul and Fresnel's signature for calling, notes on Riley and mine, Storm, and her being caught in the explosion. Countless pages dedicated to maps and iterations of Riley's fatal route. A small diagram of the weather simulator's console with instructions on removing the hard drive sits next to a shortened conversation that I hold with Mai. I want to ask you, Mai, why do you like the Oasis so much? What makes this home so special? I ready my charcoal pencil that barely writes. The near flattened point records my words thick and faded.
When I first came to the Oasis, I was so scared. The Sanctifiers took everything from us, and even after we established this Oasis, we were still a bunch of dolls in a nameless group that got bullied by the Sanctifiers. The stronger dolls like Fresnel, Seoul, Persicaria, and Croak protected everyone, and I never got to return the favor. And now, I never will.
I record her words into the notebook's most recent page. In habit, my expression doesn't change. A look of neutrality is Mai's only answer while I find the nearest wall to lean on as I let my mind drift for even a few moments. Ever since I came to the Oasis, I've needed to let the entire Oasis fall to get here. To know what I know, to maybe fix everything in the next iteration. But it's no guarantee. My only incentive is my own life, with no way home. The soft sobs of mine mix with the crackling of flame, as my body still struggles to keep itself from collapsing with every second that peruses by in a lull. Exhaustion tempts me to close my eyes, but I scribe the final letters in a fresh page. Even if it takes 1,000 tries, I will make this story right. Even if it's the last thing I do.